Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daily High with your host, Matt McGregor, and the Tone Vase. Good morning, Tone. How are you? You look like a oil painting. You look good today. You've just had a shave, have you?
Morning. I am in El Salvador. It was, oh, dude, if I really cared to open social media and tweet, how many times do you think I've flown on a plane?
I don't know, thousands of times.
So here's what happened when I was landing in El Salvador. The plane is coming in for a landing. We're about 100 feet from landing. Well, you're already like passing the airport where you're about to land. And I'm sitting next to a window, and all of a sudden I'm seeing this in the window. Whoop, they aborted the landing.
I've had a few of them. Yeah.
You had those?
Yeah, a lot of times. Yeah, they're like, we'll just do it again. Is it your first one?
Yeah, that was my first one. It was like, holy shit. We were like literally like wheels are about to touch down, and all of a sudden the plane is going back up.
I know. And then it adds like 45 minutes to your trip.
That's actually kind of scary. Like, what the hell just happened? Like,
yeah. DEI hire. That's what the Red Republicans should say.
You're always like, that's not common. Like, what if there's like another plane coming in from a different side? Like,
I mean, that happens too. It's you've just got people trying to guide it all through. Anyway, I've been away. My brother's been here for a week. It's been fantastic. So I'm sorry I missed Thursday and Friday shows and Monday show, but we're back now. We're back.
All right. Jump into it. You've been away. Why don't you go first?
Right on. All right. Look, I'm going to catch up. I didn't do Monday's show, right? But I said all last week, if we close above this 50 simple moving average, even if it's on the 50 simple moving average, I think that's my line in the sand for like the definition between a bull market and bear market, just because historically I don't love ever closing below that 50 simple moving average. And I even said in last week's show, like we can get below the 50 simple and then rally above it, just like I've always talk about. And we did just that. We had a fantastic rally that got us to close above the 50 simple. I mean, that's just like knocking on the door of disaster. And this candle's wrong. That should be red right now. This is where it puts us, right? Like we're not out of danger. We're out of danger for 1 week, as far as I'm concerned. Now, I saw two things happening when I saw that on Monday that we had closed above the 50. I thought, well, we'll probably get a follow through rally, which will come back up to the touch on the 30 simple and the 7 simple cluster here, and then get rejected hard, and then have to do the whole thing again. And that could easily be the catalyst for, well, we didn't do it this week. We come up, retest those critical points at, we'll call it 110, even 111. We'll just go 111 to be sure, but you know what I'm talking about. Get rejected and then continue the downward slide. Absolutely possible. Or we sustain the 50 simple moving average and we clear those moving averages at 111, 110. And I think we're in for a really good time, But for me, nothing's changed from last week. We staved off death for a week. Let's see if we can sustain that. I don't like that we had a good little rally and it didn't even get to those moving averages. Let's go to the lower time frames and see if it tells us anything. Before we do that, let's have a look at some of these oscillators. What are these notes? I don't need those notes. They've been bugging me for months. Copy curve, as you know, has reset, which is great because if we do recover anywhere from here, if we sustain that 50 simple moving average and recover, we'll get the purple phantom. Brilliant. I'm really interested in this. Yes, there it is. I'm sorry, I've got a really bad throat infection right now. Too much beer and alcohol and cigarettes probably, but this is this little descending symmetric wedge, whatever you want to call it, has been in play for months, and I was screaming out this topping divergence for months and months and months as it was happening. But the bottom end of it now is very intriguing to me because we have now crossed it to the downside, which is not good. It's not good in the short term, but it's actually really positive in the long term. I kind of think that if we close this week below this line and we also close the week above below the 50 simple moving average, I see a high probability of a reset and further downside But that being a really, really good clean out where we can get really long. Speculation, of course. We'll talk more about that when it happens. The other oscillators, of course, I mean, MACD looks bad, real bad. And Socrates' EXA looks real bad, real bad. But once again, I mean, when all these oscillators are tearing down, I love it. And I especially love it if the price isn't tearing down. Those oscillators can tear down all they want. If the price is still above 100,000, go nuts, because when they all finally cross back over, if we're lucky enough to sustain the 50 simple moving average, it gives us tremendous firepower. It's like putting a turbocharger on a V6. You got some real heat and some real air getting pumped into the move. And that's a possibility. But again, speculation. I can't speak to it for now. The daily, we had a really bad lows on the daily last week, and we've only rallied as far as the 50 simple moving average. You know what? The 30 simple moving average, even less than. You know how I feel about that when we're below the moving averages. I always say the 30 and the 50s is just going to be your lower highs. It's all the way down until you put in a sustained higher low and you break these moving averages. I'm not bullish on Bitcoin. Don't care about the little rally. That seems like a rally into the end of the week. I'm not bullish on Bitcoin. 4-hour time frame. We're able to put in a bit of a high low, break this descending line, that like a descending channel that we had in where the moving average clusters were, and I bet that goes back quite a way. That would have looked like quite a good little trade to have. Oh, sorry, it's not a straight line. How long have I been out of this for? Here we go. Let's do this. Like, that seems like it would have been a bit of a no-brainer trade. I like those trades, and I still like it for now, because I like when there is like a bit of a descending channel, and then you break it at the cluster of the moving averages as they all cross over as well. This could be just a throwback back down to the 50 simple and the 30 here as they go to cross, and also that descending line. So I'd be real interested in a buy for a short-term day trade type of buy. Sorry. At like this 103, 600, 666, 103, 666, you put a buy in there because, the stop loss was very, very near. I'm not interested in the price if we start getting below that descending line. And I'm really think we got more downside if we get below, these lower marks, obviously. All right. That's all I've really got for you, Tone, as I come back to you in the studio before I try not to cough anymore. I couldn't even speak on the weekend. Hey, please like and subscribe. Please share it with your friends. Hey, the Discord group is growing. I don't know if it's a consistency in our shows and whatnot, but we're getting great volume through the bots, great volume through, and more people coming into the Discord group. It's a fantastic place to hang out and hang out with other traders who are really, really knowledgeable.
Well, I started doing Bitcoin content again, which I thought I was retired from.
Yeah.
And it looks like, that's not going to stop anytime soon because of this stupid fork. And therefore, more people will now be aware of my existence. I'm getting a lot of followers on X again, and some followers on YouTube. I really wanted to switch to health and wellness content, which is coming, but we gotta finish out with this.
Well, you look very healthy. I want to just bring up one chart before I go. And look, I got glasses again. I can see the charts without squinting like this. It's really, I got a couple of sets. I'm very, very happy. I did find another little stock I wanted to just quickly reference, and I'll bring it up, and you tell me if there's any legs to this thing. And you can talk about it on your chart. What is here we go. Have a look at this. Let me know what you think about this. I am very interested in OpenAI, Open Door Technologies right here. I think that looks like a terrific little change in direction. If we can close,
but it needs to reset, right? I mean, it had a weird earnings call, like really weird, right? So it kind of crashed on earnings and then recovered. And for me, this is
too soon.
Like I'm confused by this chart, and whenever I'm confused by a chart, I don't touch it, and this is confusing to me.
I like it from a fundamental a technical analysis perspective, how like it's a terrific rally, right? That was just gravy to be in, and it's like one of those examples of like wave turns green, purple phantom signals come in, it's all firing, just a rocket rally, and then to put in these really clear descending, lower highs, all the way down, put in a bit of a washout on earnings, and then I think if we close the week, above your MRI support and resistance line, I think this thing's got legs. So I'd like to keep an eye on this as we go further. Just add it to the things to consider. I'm coming back to you in the studio. It's all yours, Tone Vase. Take it away, my friend.
All right, let me jump on screen share. Here's the monthly chart. I didn't take a look at it yesterday because I was at the airport and didn't have enough time. Not the best looking candle. The candle is likely to break the MRI count unless we have a massive rally at the end of the month. I am a little skeptical on a massive rally at the end of the month. The Bitcoin ecosystem is not really friendly right now to Bitcoin rallying because of the massive infighting within the Bitcoin community. Now the S&P going to new all-time highs may be enough to bring Bitcoin to the all-time high because, and the reason is, I'm going to probably talk a lot more about the controversy in the Bitcoin ecosystem as it relates to the price of Bitcoin. And I don't really care if people watching are not happy with my analysis of the situation. What the people on Twitter have to realize is that 90% of the people that use Bitcoin and drive the price of Bitcoin are actually not on Twitter. They have no fucking idea there is this fork happening at all. And that's a little bit of an echo chamber that does happen on Twitter. So there is a chance that S&P rising will drive the price of Bitcoin higher. However, as drumbeats for a fork continue, more and more people are going to be aware of the controversy in the Bitcoin fundamentals, and that would scare people from being in Bitcoin. I remember this from the 2017 days very, very well. It happened then as well. So there will be lots of similarities coming. The good news is once the fork thing resolves, just like it did in 2017, the price of Bitcoin went up like 10x. So hopefully, I don't think it will go up 10x because the fork resolves this time, but we'll see which way it goes. As of right now, this is a very bearish looking candle, but if we can get a nice tone vase positive volume, which means the price of Bitcoin would need to be like above 107 at the end of this month, and then we got a shot. But you know how I usually say in consolidation, time works in our favor?
Sure.
There is a limit in this case, right? We have maybe a 6-month window for the consolidation to like break us out. After that, I don't think time is going to work in our favor. And I'm going to repeat what Matt said. If the candle right now was trading at 107,000, I would be fairly bullish, at least for us to get to 112. Sitting here where we are, I'm not bullish at all. I think it'll be a miracle if we hold the 50,000 moving average, 50 period moving average by the end of the week. I think it will be a little bit of a miracle, and I'm not betting on that as it stands.
Agreed.
The current daily candle rejected us exactly where it was supposed to reject us. We had yesterday on yesterday's show, I counted 6 levels of resistance. And it's a little sad that we got rejected by the very first level out of the 6. You would think that we can at least make it past the first level of resistance because we have this 20 period moving average, the 200 period moving average, the upwards sloping down trend line for the lows. That's number 3. Technically, that's number 2 because it's a little bit below, but they're kind of together. Number 4 is this is the 50 moving average. Number 5 is the 128-day moving average. And my 6th area of resistance I thought I had 6. Oh, the downward sloping channel right there.
You had that one, but the previous high, I would say,
Well,
is the other.
I don't consider prior highs as resistance, right?
Yeah,
So,
but on the first attempt, they certainly are every
yeah,
time.
I know. I still don't. Like, here's a prior high, and we blew right through it.
Right.
I would consider the MRI resistance line resistance, but I don't like considering prior highs as resistance because I never assume that they will reverse us. But this is the one. This is the 6th. Well, technically, it's the 2nd. This downward trending line right here from the channel. And we got rejected by the first one, which fucking sucks. It shows you how weak Bitcoin is by getting rejected by the very first of 6 areas of resistance. So this is not making me very optimistic. Go ahead.
Sorry, brother. Even on alphanumetrics, well, I use different parameters for a lot of these moving averages than you do. And that's what I said in my analysis. I expected us to bounce to at least the first line, but we didn't even bounce to the first line. That's exactly what I said, man. That's a real bad fade, do you know?
Yeah. Here's the hourly chart, and same thing on the hourly chart. Here it is, where you can draw your little horizontal channel here. It's actually very easy to draw. And there we are, breaking right below it, right? Like, this is not good. Like, not good at all. We got a chance at a 10 a.m. reversal. Today's Tuesday. Good day for a 10 a.m. reversal. You have a little bit of support right here. So let's try to stay above 103.5 going into 10 a.m., which is 1.5 hours from now. And maybe we'll get lucky, but I'm not long Bitcoin right now. I am holding off. And we are going to talk about the silver in a minute when we get there. Not much to say on the cycle charts today. Not much to say on the Bitcoin dominance. It's at an MRI top. Gold and silver. Gold is on an MRI monthly warning candle. I still think the intra-month top is in, but we should get the MRI top, on the close. Probably this month is going to be the closing high. I'm still under the assumption that we are working on a top here in silver and gold. Onto silver. Here's the weekly candle. It's possible we can close at a new weekly closing high. I still think the intra-week high is going to be the high. Can I be wrong? Absolutely. This is, my view on the situation hasn't changed. This is the return to range. This is going to be very interesting because all the oscillators are going to have some crazy divergence, especially if the weekly closes at a new closing high, just barely, and then reverses down. Like, look at the silver doesn't cross into this overbought RSI area often. And when it does, it always pulls back. I know everyone thinks it's different this time. I don't understand why it would be different this time. The MACD has not crossed over yet. This is almost an all-time high for the MACD as well. I just don't see why it needs to be different this time. I don't. There's not that much difference between America in 2011 and America today, as far as the US dollar is concerned. It's not that different. I mean, people can say that the United States has more debt and stuff, and in 2011, it looked like Europe was going to implode. And I'm surprised that Europe hasn't imploded yet. So Europe looks in a better position now than it did in 2011. And I think the big rise in gold and silver in 2011 was partly coming out of Europe. And there is some stability around the world with back in 2011, the BRICS, I'm not even sure the BRICS even existed in 2011. And now the BRICS are pretty united and somewhat stable, other than, well, I'm not going to get too much into the politics. So as far as global stability, instability, yes, there is some more concern for war, but the US dollar is as strong as it was in 2011. If we go to the US dollar chart before I come back to silver, I'll come back to silver. So let me go to DXY. Right. So if we compare the US dollar now to 2011, the last time gold and silver were at these levels. I mean, here's the US dollar. So the US dollar back in 2011 was actually weaker than it is now. The US dollar has strengthened since 2011. And that was the last time gold and silver were at these levels. Well, gold was half the price. Silver was at current price. Just like I keep saying, silver's top is at $50. Above $50, the mining sector will flood the market with silver. Silver is not as rare in the earth as people think. It's just not cost effective to mine until it reaches that $40, $50 plateau. And once it does, silver suddenly becomes very, very profitable to mine. And all of a sudden, there's so much silver on the market, and then people realize they don't really need silver. So I still think the top is in. Let's go back to the silver chart. And I will be reshorting silver. I was supposed to reshort silver yesterday, and I really thought I would have been able to get back on the computer after I closed it after the show and got on the plane. But by the time I landed in El Salvador, got the car rental, drove an hour into the city, it wasn't easy finding the Airbnb, checked into the Airbnb, the market was closed. Technically, there is no closure for the market in the futures market, but I still don't like to enter trades off market hours. So I now get another chance to short silver, and I will be doing that today. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. This is not trading advice. This is what I'm doing. What is going on out there?
Sounds like a little policey or something.
Yeah, this is what I'm doing. And
would you if you were to short silver at this point, which I believe that you will you look where those for example, like the modified lucid stars are just above there? You can't really see them on the phone, but you can see on the computer. Yeah. Would you consider that a failed trade, or would you stay in the short?
I would probably consider it a failed trade before that.
Yep.
Because silver is a pretty leveraged asset.
Because there's nothing really there, is there?
I'm trying to be this is one of those things where, sometimes you enter a trade and you know immediately that you're wrong. This time around, because of the monthly MRI top, I may not know that my trade is wrong until like the end of December, right? Because of the monthly MRI top and the weekly MRI top, because if I look at the higher level time frames and all the divergence that is happening after this candle closes, I almost have to wait until the end of the month. I mean, look at this volume crash as well, right? There's just so much here where silver can go and close the weekly above 53, and it can even close the daily above 54. And all of this can happen at the end of this week and early next week for the daily. And the trade is still, on par because there's still 3 weeks to go before this month ends.
Yeah, it smacks of one of those trades where you were wrong 3 times and stopped and sort of stopped out of the trade, and then eventually you were right like 6 weeks later. Do you know what I mean? It's got
right. This is one of those trades where you really want to give it a month to prove you wrong. Sometimes there's you have hours and you're proven wrong within hours. Yeah. But in this case, unless silver goes above 60, quickly, or it's still up here a month and a half from now. There's just a really long time period at current prices. Like, and by current prices, I mean anywhere from 50 to 58, where you're not wrong. It's just trying to time the trade.
Timing, exactly. Yeah. All right.
All right, we can wrap this up.
Sounds good.
Back to the studio.
Well, I'm a little sick, guys. I'm sorry, my throat's killing me, but it's a pleasure to be back with you again today. We'll bring you another show tomorrow, hopefully, Tony. Is that right? You're free?
Probably. I got conferences starting later today. We'll try to bring you a show. It'll probably be on the earlier side, like now, before I head off to the conferences. I didn't even share my screen. Well, I'm in El Salvador. I guess it's a little too late for me to advertise the El Salvador conferences. But if you feel like getting on a last-minute plane, there's 3 events here starting today. The first one.
Awesome. Well, go see Tone in El Salvador if you get a chance. If you're already in El Salvador, make sure you scream out to Tone. He'd love to see you. And on that bombshell, we will see you the same time tomorrow night. Thanks again for watching, guys. Have a great day.
Yeah. Oh, someone says silver and copper were added to critical minerals list on November 6th. Buy the rumor, sell the news, right? Anyone that was in the weeds in silver knew this was going to happen ahead of time, right? So probably why it topped around November 6th.
No, there's better value elsewhere, I'd say. All right.
Yep.
Let's go.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Oh, I didn't even look at the S&P. Shit. But yeah, but it's pre-market. So I
dropping.
Yeah, it's flat. Nothing interesting. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Bye, guys.